I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. San Antonio police believe an 18-year-old arrested Monday is responsible for killing 2 men in 24 hours in the Deco District. Court records show they have plenty of evidence against the man. Sue Kalberg has a story.
The crime scene tape is gone, but the stain of fear remains here in the Deco District.
Thank you. Appreciate you. City workers showed up to sweep away the evidence of a tragic 24 hours. While some removed the remains of an encampment, an outreach worker from Human Services came to offer help for the unsheltered who remain in the area. An arrest affidavit now confirms what neighbors suspected. There's evidence that 18-year-old Noah West was caught on surveillance video swinging a piece of wood in the spot where the first victim was found dead moments later. The document alleges the very next morning, West was found wearing the same distinctive clothing near where the second victim was found, brutally beaten. They said they found blood on his shirt and shoes. Police have only charged West in one of the murders, but they say they believe they're connected and they're not looking for anyone else.
We've built a nice little space.
Deco District neighbors who love the area say they will come together to overcome.
Nobody deserves to be beaten to death or harmed in that matter. And so whatever people might think of the homeless, it's a very, very sad situation.
A single candle is burning where one of the victims was found, and some of the neighbors are talking about a memorial of some sort to help the neighborhood heal. In the Deco District, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
A raid at a Northeast Side motel is now being investigated for possible human trafficking. We're told several people with felony warrants were found at the scene. Meredith Haas shares what else police discovered.
Well, on top of the thousands of violations and calls made to SAPD about this motel, police found something a little disturbing when they showed up today. They found doors that lock from the outside. Police forcing their way in, detaining over a dozen people at the cubed motel off Rittiman Road.
Just SAPD alone, in the past year, we've had thousands of calls to this location, anywhere ranging from assaults to sexual assaults, to fights, to disturbances.
And according to SAPD Sergeant Washington Moscoso, that includes code violations, like people living at the establishment for months. And the motel, according to Sergeant Moscoso, does not have the permits to allow extended stays. So that's what initially brought SAPD's DART unit out just after 9 Tuesday morning. But what they found, doors that lock from the outside, led them to a new investigation.
That's usually an indication that there's human trafficking involved.
Those detained at the scene were questioned to figure out whether they were victims or suspects. And people living in the area told me they consistently worry about that motel.
There's always cops there. It's very dangerous. The cops are there all the time.
We are working to find out what arrests were made, but we do know police found multiple people with felony warrants at the scene. This is an ongoing investigation as officials try to reach out to the owners of this motel so they can figure out what happens moving forward and if any charges will be brought. Reporting on the Northeast Side, I'm Meredith Haas, KENS 5.
A Bexar County Sheriff's deputy is facing multiple charges and is accused of assaulting a civilian employee he was in a relationship with. Deputies say 36-year-old Jonathan Amaya showed up to the victim's home on Sunday when an argument ensued. BCSO says the altercation eventually turned violent when he was asked to leave. Investigators say he grabbed the victim's phone, pushed her against a wall, and held her down on the floor by her neck. Amaya was arrested Monday while on duty. He is the 9th BCSO deputy arrested this year and due back in court December 17th. The man who San Antonio police say was seen on video strangling a kitten at an apartment complex has turned himself in. 31-year-old Ryan Berlanga now faces a charge of animal cruelty. Police say he has a criminal history that includes charges of assault, harassment, and theft. SAPD says community members helped identify Berlanga before a warrant was issued for his arrest. Self-driving cars will soon be on the roads in San Antonio. Autonomous driving company Waymo said operations started today in Miami and will begin in San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, and Orlando over the coming weeks. The company says it'll begin by offering employees fully autonomous trips before opening the service to the public next year. The car operates off a Waymo driver service that adapts to road conditions. And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in San Antonio. Today, crews put up the H-E-B Christmas tree at Travis Park. It is a 50-foot grand fir all the way from the foothills of the Cascade Mountains in Oregon.
Over the next week, there will be about 10,000 beautiful lights that will be put on the tree, as well as colorful decorated ornaments. And we can't wait for everybody to come out and see it during the tree lighting next Friday.
This will be the 41st annual H-E-B tree lighting. The event is free and open to the public. It is next Friday, November 28th, and starts around 4 p.m. The tree will be lit at 6:20 p.m. right before the Ford Holiday River Parade. And that's the news in San Antonio.